while we're waiting for the patch notes, I get to finally talk about a serious issue with Path of Exile 2 is the storyline, and they super need to remove Doryani's whole storyline from the game. I don't have a problem with him. It's the way that they implement him back into the game. What they should have done is they should have resurrected him through like a necromancer type spell situation. They should have never ever traveled back in time, and that is the issue. Even in game design, anywhere that you go, they teach you this is that you never ever go travel back in time and create your whole story or your video game with the whole complex with time because it causes too many paradoxes. It can like well, if we're changing time and we bring him back to, to the future and all this other things, you're going to change the dynamic of what happens later down the road. Like there's so many variables that hurt the game, and you can look at so many titles that try to do going back in the past, and they got a lot of negative reviews. It doesn't work, and that's what I want to discuss today. Is that this is a really major issue that Grind Gear Games needs to do. They need to remove Doryani out of the game. The way that they implement him into the game, the way that they bring forth and they make it into the main storyline, just really hurts the whole progress of Path of Exile 2. I mean, there's so many flaws. So, and on top of this, I actually get to bring up a really good point, and I'm going to actually bring up a game that really did a really good job with going back in time. Because if you're going to go back in time, you're going to do it correctly. You're not going to make mistakes. You need to do it absolutely correct. So we get to talk about Wild Arms 5. And they implement the whole going back in time and all this other stuff. And the thing about this legendary game, this greatest game of all time for like 20 years, is that it's so good I can't even spoil it. I cannot. I do not want to give you any hints. I do not want to tell you how. I don't want to tell you who or what. But all you need to know in Wild Arms 5 is that they do have, going back in the future, the same type of style like Doryani in a sense, but they did it correctly. And they did it so correctly, it's so emotional. This game is so emotional. Like it will it'll make you second guess the whole entire time because, especially me when I was playing Wild Arms 5, I can kind of predict like what's going to happen. Like, oh, I already figured out what the storyline is going to be, and they always keep you second guessing. And when you finally get to the very end, when you get to finally to the very end and you learn the truth, your heart sinks so heavy and so deep. Like you're just baffled. Like you're completely baffled how emotional and story driven this game is. And they do it the same story with Doryani, but they do it correctly. So if you're going to go back in time, you need to do it correctly and not have all these super loopholes and bad predictions. Because I am telling you, if you do get the chance, and if you guys have any retro console games, I highly recommend playing Wild Arms 5. Do not get spoiled and experience this retro game and how real games were made back in the day. And I kind of feel like Path of Exile's storyline is kind of like Tekken. Um, you know, because even back in the day, like 20 years Tekken, Tekken's never really had a real serious storyline. Like, it's kind of always been kind of funny and goofy and weird. Path of Exile's storyline is the same way. They don't really make it that great. So, as someone that knows this stuff pretty well, Path of Exile storyline, they really need to fix it. They need to have a guy in there with serious experience and be like, hey, you know what? This is wrong. We just need to scrap this whole storyline and make it completely different because I am telling you, if you cut Doryani out of the game, it's going to be 10 times better. If you fix the storyline, pretend like this never ever happened, you get rid of Doryani, and then you flush out the missing parts that need to be added, or or maybe you do include him into the game, but you do like a resurrection, like necromancy or vow blood, that he's being resummoned into our timeline without going back into time. I think that's the correct approach about bringing Doryani into the game. But I'm telling you guys, if you do, actually, if any of you guys even played Wild Arms 5 and you remember, please leave a comment below and do not spoil it at all. Because if I see any spoiled comments below, I will delete it. Because if someone is very interested in learning the storyline and experience Wild Arms 5, like the whole back in time, like how they did it, like it's I'm telling you, like it throws you in a cliffhanger. Like I think because I played it recently on my channel, like a month ago on my channel, and I totally forgot the storyline 20 years ago when I played it. So it was the whole storyline was refreshed to me a little bit. I still remember some things I can do in the game, but I didn't like remember. It's still been a long time ago, and oh my god, it was like I think I was really out of it for like 4 days, for almost a week. How crazy the story is! It's really that damn good. Like it's really good. Wild Arms 5, greatest game of all time. And once you play Wild Arms 5, then you can compare it to Doryani, and then you can see the big difference. And that's the best way I can talk about Doryani and this whole situation. So if you guys agree, if you guys know Wild Arms 5, um, if you guys never played Wild Arms 5, I highly recommend this game. You guys will know what a real game and real value is. It's super crazy. It's super crazy game. That's all I have to say. And you all have a lovely day. And we're gonna get patch notes in another 8 to 6 hours. And I'll see you guys then. I just wanted to bring up something super important.